and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And I'm back again. I said I would make this into 2 videos, so I'm literally just filming it one after the other for you, and I'll just put it up on a different day. We were looking at, for those that missed it, we were looking at Quiet Meadow stamp set. Lovely bits in there, and we were looking at the beautiful dies, which are the meadow dies, and you've got lots of different flowers which come in silhouettes, but rather than doing it as a silhouette, what we did was we took the flowers and we actually coloured them in so that they made them look quite realistic. So there's 2 different ones that I was showing, and I think that they make very pretty cards. So I promised that I would come back on and finish off the other 2 so you can see different colorways and see how we're going to do it. So we're going to start with the greens again, because the greens are very easy to do. So we use a combination of sponge daubers and inks and blends. Because some of these are quite delicate, it's easy to use blends because then you're not going to tear the paper. So I've literally just cut these both out in scraps. So the green, we're going to do the whole thing first, and I'm just going to take, in fact I might actually need to get some more inks out. Bear with me a second. We'll have a bright one. Okay, so I've got those out in greens, which is the Mossy Meadow and the Parakeet Party. And then the flowers, let's do some, might even do some blues. Let's have a little look and see. Right, I've just picked out a couple of things for the flowers, so maybe a blue one and a pink one. The blue, I need to probably put a, let's take this one out. That might be quite nice as well. Okay, so we've got a few colours and things out and we can have a bit of a play. So let's put these to one side. We're going to do the greens to start off with. So we're going to do the leaves. And what you do is you die cut out 2. So people who missed the last video, I would suggest going back. And I always turn around and say, you know, if you look at subscribing and hit the notification button, you then end up never missing anything. So it's worth doing for a lot of reasons. Yes, it helps you. It also helps me as well, because to grow my channel, you get to a certain point and then unless you do something, your channel doesn't seem to grow very fast. So I'm relying on people to actually subscribe and like the videos and share them and leave comments, because then it helps my channel get noticed, which means that then it all helps with being able to promote my channel, which, as I say, is very important for me. So Parakeet Party, and also for you, but you know, it takes a lot of work doing this, and it's quite nice to, you know, be rewarded a little bit by having people you know, view them, comment. I do like the comments, you know, the comments are really important to me. So I'm just doing this in the Parakeet Party to just add a little bit of colour. Okay, that I think will do on there. Now what I'm going to do, so we're doing 2 at once, so I can show you different ways of doing it. I'm also going to take out the blends. So this is the Mossy Meadow Dark, and this will allow me to have a dark shadow down one side. So I'm going to choose, I always tend to choose the right side because that's the way I do it. So I'm just literally all the way up the right hand side. It's going to have dark, and then that's going to be the right hand side there, and then that's going to be the right hand side there. So that's the dark bit in there, and I'm going to do the other one as well so you can see that. So as I say, literally you're just drawing up one side, which will be the dark side. So if you always think one side is dark, one side is light, if you have the dark on one side, then you always remember that it comes in on that side, because it's quite easy to forget that. So again, on here, this has got to come in. The light would be coming in. It would just come in underneath those two. And we've got those on the right hand side. Okay, now I'm using, this is light granny apple green. And I'm literally just going to do a little bit of blending with that so that that will just blend that colour in. And because we've got the ink underneath from sponging it, it just makes it a little bit darker, which is good. So I'm just taking it up on here and up on there, and that has blended in the line just a little bit so that it makes it look more seamless, and you haven't got that line coming through. So that's a nice thing with alcohol markers. You can blend through really quite well. Okay, so that's that done. Then I'm taking my chalk marker, and we're going to go down the opposite side. So the dark was on the right, so the left-hand side. I'm turning it because it's easier for me, and we're just going to draw with that marker just down in on the opposite side. So I'm just taking it through on here, and then if I look from here, I can see on these top pieces here we're just going to have just a little bit of light. Okay, and then again on this one it's the opposite side, so this side here is going to have the light. And it's quite good to use the chalk marker, or you can use white ink if you've got any white ink, but when it's something as fine as this, you can't really use ink with it because it won't work, but it allows it to, it gives it that three-dimensional look. Okay, so we can now do the flowers on the top of these ones. And again, I don't split it, cut it into pieces until I've done all the colouring, because these are quite delicate little die cuts. And if you cut the pieces out, it's more difficult, but we're only going to do the flowers on here. So what colours are we going to do? I think I want to have a bluey one. Maybe pink and blue. Let's have the Fresh Freesia. I like that colour. So we're going to open it. We're going to have one as Fresh Freesia. And I'm just going to, whoops, knock that over. So let's take the Fresh Freesia out. I've just inked this one up so it's nice and juicy. Which one Fresh Freesia? This one, I think. Yes. So I'm literally, as you can see, just using the ink and sponge daubers, which will just give the colour and make it really, really rather pretty, but you've still got that pink coming in underneath. So again, to just add some extra detail on this, I'm going to take these and just take the tips all the way around here. So it's as if the flower has got just little white tips on. We can take that round on there. I might actually just take it round on here a little bit as well. Like that. Okay, so that's given that a bit of colour. Now, what were we going to do this one in? I wanted to do a bit of a blue, didn't I? Yes, let's have this one as a... We might have blue with a bit of I don't know. It might be a very strange looking flower, but I just fancied doing something with a little bit of other colour in there. So let's get the... I like this one. This is the Tahitian Tide. So this is going to come through, and of course you've got the pink as the undertone as well, so it's going to give a little bit of a purpley hue. So I'm just going to come down on here like this, and like everything, you can get more colour coming through just with these being quite delicate die cuts. Just sponge in one direction, and then we've got this little one on here. I'm doing this so that it comes out just a bit like this. And then I think we're going to take the Orchid Oasis. So let's take some Orchid Oasis and get this one out. So this is going to come up at the bottom. Like that. I don't really want too much darker in there, just at the bottom of here. Oh yes, that looks quite nice, doesn't it? And then, so even though I've done pink as a base, you can't see the pink at all. Then I'm going to take the white again, and we're just going to have just some nice turning through on the tips of these. Just giving it a little bit of colouring on there, and then just a little bit on the top there. Like that, although I've taken a little bit of... Let's have a look at the... Let's just try and get some more of that. That's better actually, because even if I do this over the top, it where the blue is, it still sort of wipes it through, which is quite nice. Okay, so now we need to do a little bit of trimming. So you need to get paper snips or scissors that are... These are just little very tiny scissors, so they're actually quite good for something like this. So you want to just cut that piece off, and then this is going to go in on top of this one, like this. So let's just take some wet glue. I was saying before that in my... doing it a minute ago in the other video, I was like saying I always shake my glue and it takes a while to come out, and blow me, it came out really quickly. So okay, so this one is going to come in on here, so we'll take it down to that part there, take it in on here, and then that can come out like that. Then this little one here, we just need to take this out like that. here. And that's then that one finished. I will put them onto some clear so that it's not quite so bad. Then I've got this one. Now this one, I've actually, where I die cut it, I've only die cut. Oh, actually, that looks quite good. It just gives it half green. Now this, I'm literally just going to stick it right over the top of everything on here because it just works that way with this one. So some of them, you can cut them off and stick them on the top because this comes in and you're sticking it onto this part. There's nothing for it to really go on top of. So I'm doing it this way this time. So you can do it one way or the other. You just need to make sure that it is going, it's straight. So this is more difficult to line up over the whole lot. So I'm going to pick it up because then I should be able to just move it in a little bit as it goes. So I can just straighten it up on there and then straighten it up on there. So that's then come in on there like that. Okay, now because that's come at a bit of an angle, what I am going to do is I'm going to take the blend in on here and I'm just going to, it needs to be the darker one, I think. I'm just going to take in that little bulbous part there. And I'm going to take the Mossy Meadow, which is a bit darker, and then just come in on here. I'm just colouring that in so that it all tones in together. In on there, and then I'm going to just take that chalk marker again and just add a little bit more on here. Once the chalk marker has dried for the first time, you'll get some prettier tips coming through because obviously we've got ink on there and it just allows it to dry a little bit so that then it comes through and it's quite sort of pretty on it. So let me just take those out of the way with my scrappy paper and then we can see what we've done. So we don't want that one. We've got this one on here. Let me just take that out of the way. And that's, do it on, let me just get another piece of, here we go. There's a piece of white underneath. So we've got this one, which you can see you've got all the lovely light and dark on there, which will be beautiful for a central piece. And we've got the nice blue one, which again looks pretty, but you can see, and again, if you want to add some more, now you see on this one where we've got the pink sort of coming through a little bit, I would add some more of the pale down on this side to just give a little bit more light on there. And then probably just a little bit more on here as well, which just gives it just that little bit of light and dark. But you can see on here, and again, just by moving these and just adding this, it just adds just a little bit of almost like 3-dimension to it. We're going to do on just, I'm not going to do it on that one actually because there's only a little bit of the tip on it. But you can see if I bring back the other ones that we completed, if you then take, so this one has got the Sahara Sand, this one has got the Gorgeous Grape, and I did this piece with Highland Heather. This one I would probably do it with Tahitian Tide. So do your words with Tahitian Tide and then round the corners and Tahitian tied at the back, because that would look really pretty on there like that. And then this one I think is really lovely with the fresh freesia. Do it on the back with fresh freesia in the center, but you only need one flower, and then you've got, you know, beautiful cards. So I will probably carry on and finish. I don't know how we are on time. Yes, I should probably carry on and finish these ones and do exactly the same as we did on these. If you missed these ones, then literally look back on the last video. Subscribe, you'll be able to see all my videos, and it's the one before this. But it gives you an idea of how to colour all of those flowers to make them look really pretty and three-dimensional. So I hope you enjoyed that. As always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.